Hello, everybody, and welcome to Saturday edition of GQUAT Traditions. I have on my Reinvention Rebels t-shirt because I am a reinvention rebel. Hello, Joanne Stevens. Sissy, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. You were here bright and early. Hello, Unbiased. Rachel, LLC. She says hello to the queens. Okay, so let me see if I can pull this up on the chat. Hey, Cheryl Faulkner. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, all of you who are in the bushes. So, I'm going into YouTube, trying to pull up the channel so that I can see all of you. Cheryl Faulkner, what's going on? What's going on in your neck of the woods? I see it raining in a lot of places. Sissy Joanne Stevens, has the rain gotten to you? One virtuous woman and one vigilant watchman. You know what? I was very upset. Every once in a while, I don't hear from people. I had to reconnect on your channel, OVW. I see you on Sifting Soil We Talk. I don't know how they drop the people that you talk to most. Hello, Juanita Campbell. Thank you for coming. Mike. Thank you for coming and welcome. Teresa Bailey. How's the weather in Maine? I was kind of wishing that I was there. Lobsters, blueberries, that kind of thing. That's all. Okay, Renee's Garden is speaking to everyone. Psalm 146. Hello. Hello. For those of you who haven't seen it, I posted a short video today, and it was kind of a recap of my mom's 92nd birthday yesterday. And because I don't show the family on the channel a lot for privacy, and the channel is about what they do and their legacy, not them per se. And I'm trying to respect their privacy. Rachel, Unbiased LLC, my alter ego. Rachel is going up ladders. She's fixing lights. She's under her truck. One of the things I miss most about the North Carolina property, mind you, I don't, thank you, Cheryl Faulkner said she saw it. I don't miss it per se, but I miss some of the things I didn't have, even though I can't even take care of what I have now. I have a 1-bedroom apartment, and there's certain things I can't physically do. So I have a helper that comes in 3 days a week to do the heavy cleaning, vacuuming, going under things, crawling over things. There was a bug in here the other day on the ceiling. I almost killed myself trying to get that thing. I was on step stools, everything. She's taller than me. Psalm 146, good glorious afternoon, Kay. But what I wanted to tell you guys, somebody said they saw a delicious yellow cake. Yes, and that was my mom a few years back going to church the way we used to go to church back in the day. And it might have been Auntie Joanne that snapped that particular photo of mommy in her car, big hat on, sunglasses, and she loves leopard. Since I came on live the other night, I made a pair of pillowcases for her birthday. She's still in rehab at the nursing home, so I wanted to give her something to brighten up her bed, brighten up her life. And I know she loves leopard and animal prints, as most of us, at least in my family, do. So she was excited about the pillowcases. And you know how I tell you, my daughter's always telling me, "Hi, Maria Graham. Thank you for coming and welcome." G Mama Grows, thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank all of you for coming and welcome. And yes, this is Lilac, my lead goat. I had son and goats on my little farm. They were supposed to be for milk, and I was going to make this yogurt and goat's milk cheese. I didn't know that they had to be bred first to do that. Luckily that I got one of them, Peanut or Lilac, and they were already pregnant. Then they had a boy goat. I bought a boy goat. Oh, their hormones are rough. Or the goats hormones are rough. But what I was saying about the farm, I missed my pickup truck. I missed that. I was talking about Rachel crawling under his, and me and my pickup truck, honey, we were inseparable. We were inseparable. I moved back to the city. The truck did not pass go, did not collect $200, and it had two gas tanks. It had two gas tanks. It had a double gas tank. I could go all over the country. And Rachel said hers, she lives in the country. I don't know if she lived as country as I did. No, she didn't, because I saw the house next door. And I lived out on 4 acres. The 4 acres was 12 miles from the nearest town. I lived in the county. And there were 800 residents in the town. Did you hear me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800. The nearest Walmart was like 30 miles, something like that. And we're talking one lane going this way, one lane going that way, with the deep gutters on the side of the road. Yeah, that was country. That was country. So welcome to Create and Chat. Summarizing Mommy's birthday, I wanted to show that even though I'm single myself and I have no intention of being, what is that word they call it? Will Smith and Jada, they call it something entangled or whatever. I just want you to know that the male children in our family, whether the mother is single, whether Nana's single, whether grandma is single, there are men in our family and male images, and the boys are growing up knowing what it is to have a man in their life and values, and here's some base to tell them, no, don't do that. No, put that. Oh, yes, entanglements. Entanglements. Even though there are not any known entanglements. Hey, honey Slanger, how you doing? How you doing, sir? I know you have a bunch of goats. Oh, funny story. When I did have goats, I like curry goat. I like goat meat, but I can't look in the eye. Me personally, just me, my wimpishness. I couldn't look at them and eat them. So when I did have meat goats, I put them on somebody else's farm out there. And one time I took two meat goats to one of my neighbors, and the silly goat jumped up on, those big hay bales, and apparently jumped off and broke its neck. And when you have a lot of land, a lot of country, they didn't even see that the poor goat was gone. So that was a waste. So let's talk about gardening. I don't have anything new to show you from my garden, and I'm going to make a video of the patty pan squash. And because I want to save whatever seeds are in there, I think I'll do a recipe for stuffed. I'm going to stuff it, not here, not live. I will set up some cameras and show you how to make stuffed patty pan squash. The patty pan squash has a tender skin for those of you who are new or in the bushes, and you can actually like scrape the skin with your nail, just like a zucchini or a yellow squash. It's actually in that family. Gee, Mama grows hard in the garden. I say you changed your name, Mama. Buy you sugar. I saw you taking a ride going somewhere. Barb Brownlee, everybody. So, since the chat is going on tonight, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. And one of the first things, I know that Psalm 146, but a lot of you who are not doing arts and crafts, or just might be intimidated, this is just one of the books I have in my library. I have a lot. Hola, Lorraine T. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. You will be interested to be here today, Lorraine, because one of the things we're going to do for those of you who have old sewing machines, your mother's sewing machine, or interested in adopting a sewing machine from a secondhand store, I'm going to show you some basic maintenance because they all need it, whether it's just cleaning, oiling, whatever, and you can't be afraid to do it. But this is just a book. It was published so long ago. It was from Toys R Us. They're defunct now, and it was $3.16. I'm looking to see when it was published. It was the kids' arts and crafts book, and it was illustrated by young artists. You see, simple things that you can do with children. I had a video a little while ago with Rylan. The little boy Rylan is my great great grandson. That means it's my granddaughter's grandson. And of course, mommy is the matriarch of the whole family. But I wanted to tell you, so this book was published in, oh my gosh, in 1975. Maria Graham, my hair looks good tonight. I don't know what I'm doing with it. For those of you who don't know about this texture hair, I had it twisted, and some of you have heard of dreadlocks, different kind of locks, sister locks, micro locks. I'm trying to lock my hair. It's doing something, but it's doing it by itself. And yes, you wash it like this, you do, and you condition it, and it has artists and art to be. But I'm not saying get this particular book, but I just want to go over a couple of things it tells children to do. Number one is get an okay from mom and dad before you start working on a messy project. Pick a good time too. No one wants a paint covered wreck at the dinner table. So those of you who have limited space like I do, I every space I have has to multitask. So I can't start a big project and then have something small that's due and not have room for it. Something else that says work in an area where no one minds if you make a mess. If you live in a big house, you close the door. I'm known to make little messes no matter where I am. I'm a guerrilla gardener, a guerrilla artist. When I am in Auntie Joanne's house, they usually give me like a wing of the house. They gave me a bedroom to sleep in and a bedroom to do my arts and craft in and my own bathroom. And they don't come on that part of the house for a month or so, except, maybe to check on a few maintenance things. But these are just some things that everybody needs to do for arts and crafts. I said work in an area where no one minds if you make a mess. Be good to rugs and furniture. Work far away from them. Wear old clothes, something your art project won't ruin permanently. Put newspapers under your work area or something. Try not to be discouraged if something doesn't turn out the way you want it to. Everyone who tries to create has this same struggle sometime. When you're disappointed in something, walk away for a while. Later, things may not look as bad as you thought. So, this is just a little arts and craft book, and it's full of them. You can find them in the dollar store, you can find them in the library. This is one I thought would be cute. I don't usually turn on the pages, but this was the arts and craft books for kids. So I could always say one of the kids did it. And this is a collage self portrait. Some of you saw me doing a collage with Miss Mignon. That's what you call a collage. You can do it with a combination of paper, of fabric. As you saw, Maria Graham use paper and fabric in her fabric postcard. So did Auntie Bev. And this is a collage. It's about me, And I thought that would be a good project for Mr. Bean Juice, who is Psalm 146 son, and my buddy. Hello, Bean Juice, if you're there. Kids like creating with Auntie Nana because Auntie Nana's a silly rabbit. Silly, silly, silly. So, that being said, I'm about to start a new project so you can see what I'm looking down at. And I belong to a fabric group. It's called Quilt Africa Fabrics. Yes, there are people in Africa, India, hot parts of the world that do extensive quilting. India is known for a combination of African type quilting with hand stitching. Why? Because it gets cold everywhere at night. Nobody sleeps with their butt out under the sun, the moon, the stars. Everybody needs some kind of cover. So that being said, I really don't need any fabric to do a project, but I try to support the groups that I'm in if someone has a project. So they're doing a Christmas project. I ordered a few fat quarters of fabric. I think, well, it's going to be a queen size quilt. And just to show you how much fabric is needed for different size quilts, and one of the reasons quilts are so expensive, I'm just showing you that I'm reading I'm reading from the back of here. Bias sleeps with her cheeks out. Well, I don't know if you have mosquitoes or anything, or you know, on disorderly eyeballs. That's the one part that has to be covered. For me, I have to have a sheet over that. My legs can be out, my back can be out, everything can be out, but the boom boom, I have to have the boom boom covered. Yeah, I have to have it covered. So, for a twin size quilt, you need, this is what this says, but I'm going to tell you why you need more. For the lining, you need 5.25 yards. You need 3/4 of a yard of binding. For a full or double bed, you need 5.25 yards. For queen size, you need 7.5 yards. For king size, which is 100 by 92, you need 8 yards. But what I want to tell you is this: every queen size quilt, you have to make a king size quilt for every queen size bed. Why? Because a quilt only covers the top. For those of you who remember going to your grandma's house and they had those big heavy quilts that you roll back, if you think about it, it didn't go down the sides of the bed. The sheets hung down or whatever, but only the top was covered. So most of us, hello Cassandra, thank you for coming and welcome. You want it to hang over the sides of the bed, so you have to add at least a yard or two for that. And mind you, this is only for the front. You have to double it for the back for the binding. Now, if you live in a hot area, you don't want batting, you don't have to do that. Or you can put something light in the middle, like flannel or just another layer of fabric. Thank you. If anybody would like to support the channel, G Mama Grows has put the what you can do to do that. And to that end, I'm going to. Oh, Rachel asked me about digitizing. I don't personally digitize, but I have a friend whose son is a graphic artist, and this is Rachel, just to show you a personal digital image for my embroidery machine. I was going to name my channel just the word traditions. Then I said, well, traditions could be anything. My traditions are specifically garden, quilt, and art traditions. So I added GQUAT. I have this digitized, but I can always add the letters GQUAT above it. And this big one here, this is the same person digitalized that. So I have hoops that big, and that is my personal logo that I designed. So the new project that I'm going to be working on is a Christmas quilt in African fabrics. Why? Just because I like African fabrics and batiks. They're normally heavier fabric than most of the American made fabrics, and I just like them. I like the bright colors. I like bright colors. And I spent like the first 25 years of my life doing traditional quilting, traditional colors, the traditional calicos and fabrics using old clothes. I will be doing, I'm inch by inch, taking some old jeans apart to make a blue jeans quilt. So that being said, there is a YouTube channel called Quilt Africa Fabrics. They're also here on YouTube. They don't have a lot of subscribers, but I like what they do, and I'm a member of their group. I don't do everything that they do because they have people teaching classes. I teach classes myself, and honestly, I know I haven't seen any techniques that are out there that I have not already done that I don't know how to do. But again, I like to support them. I have a lot of fabrics in dark colors. So when I went to my mom's yesterday for her birthday, my granddaughter gave me this packet. It was in the mail envelope, and this is what you call charm squares. These are 5-inch squares of fabric. I do a lot of 5-inch, but I cut my own because you can't find African fabrics. Unbiased, I know you don't like to cut small pieces. So I think this was like 30 pieces for about, I want to say 19.95, and then it was $9 for shipping, priority mail, and that wasn't much. So I got them because they were yellow, and I thought it would brighten up some of the darker colors that I already have in my stash. Normally, when you buy charm squares from anywhere, they could be flowers for anything. They usually give you two of each. So I have two of this one. Doesn't mean they were cut in the exact same place. When I was showing you in the postcards, you could have the same piece of fabric, but cut in. I'm going to put this down and show you one at a time. Cut in different areas, and it looks like two different pieces of fabric. There are two of this one. You bought the square ruler crate? Yay. Which size did you buy, Rachel? 6.5, 12.5, 10-inch, 10.5. That's good for squaring up. And I will show you guys how to square up blocks, because one of the most popular blocks is a half square triangle, but it warps when you cut on the bias. Anybody that cuts on the bias, it it stretches. It's stretchy. Across the top, not so much. This is nice thick fabric. Okay. The next two in here, because I know you guys like looking at fabric, and this looks like a lady walking. You could probably keep that. This one is geometric on this piece. Unbiased says, oh, you bought a 4x4 ruler? That's helpful. That's helpful. But if you buy another ruler, if I can make a suggestion, a 6.5-inch ruler is one of the most helpful sizes that you can buy. Why? Because when you square up 6.5-inch blocks, like 4 6.5-inch blocks, when you sew them together, you get a 12.5-inch block, which is a standard block for a good size big block for when you're creating your own blocks and things. Here's another bright little yellow color. You like that geometric design, Grandmama? Hello, FR Humphrey. Thank you for coming and welcome. I just want to share some colors with you. And I'm buying these to brighten up some of The other colors I have in my stash, no matter what I have, and I participated with someone, like I said, I'm going to participate with this group. So by participating, the the pattern is free. She arranged for us to get permission to use a free pattern, but you have to support a group. You can't go and freeload. Daddy used to say, never be a leech. You know, a leech is something that is no benefit to anyone. It just sucks up what you have and never gives anything back. Try to give a little bit back, just a little something, something. Give me a minute. Hope this booty won't be out, Rachel, when I go over here to get it. I will show you some rulers that I use a lot. I'll be right there, you guys. But the one I wanted to show Rachel was way in the back. And Rachel will tell you rulers are expensive. Blades are expensive. You want to buy those from the different places when they're on sale. Like when you see something, a 40% sale, but they don't give you anything off. Rachel's at the buttocks. You guys are bad. They don't give you anything. So what they'll do is they'll take they'll take $2 off of some really expensive fabric. Well, you want to get that $15 a yard fabric at 40% off. They're not going for that. They only take $1 or $2 off. So you're walking all around the store looking for something to spend the 40% coupon on. So Rachel, this is, and everyone in the chat, this is a 6.5 inch ruler. And why this is important, there's a little diagonal line across here, and the diagonal line you put on the crease. But by getting a 6.5 inch ruler, you can square up any size block from like 2.5 inches. Like, see, if I was going to do a 2 inch block, for example, this is 2 inches, 2 inches. I'll do it closer. 2 inches, 2 inches, and you put the diagonal line. So then it's like you have several rulers in this 6.5 inch ruler. But just out of curiosity, you guys, those of you, some of you might be good at math. I don't plan on buying all these. This is a triangular ruler that you can do different things on. I should have brought the ruler stand over there because hola, Yankee sister in the bushes. She's been canning and showing off, but that's okay. I'll leave my car unlocked when I know she's in the neighborhood. Okay, she wants to drop a jar or two of this and that off. Okay, this is another kind of triangle ruler. Why am I showing you this? Because when you belong to these different quilt groups, they get commissions, whatever, for selling rulers and this and that for other people. And they do projects using this particular ruler. And then you get this particular ruler and you never use it again. Then they go get the next ruler. Why? Because these rulers are so expensive, they're never marked down. So, other than you use a coupon, this is a handy ruler. This is a 9.5 inch ruler. I like 9.5 inch rulers. I do this for a lot of some of my, what do you call it, rag quilts, because then you can cut the edges and have something good. This is a standard 6.5 by 12 inch ruler. Okay. It fell, hit the kitchen floor, it cracked. Did I buy another one? No, 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 no. I tried taping it. I don't know where the other end is. But like I said, these rulers are expensive. What I like about these that are yellow, when you put them on dark fabric, and the lines are black like the other ones. Like I use a lot of African fabrics, dark fabrics, some of the batiks. The yellow writing makes it easy for you to see the cross grids. Okay, and this is one of my favorite rulers. I don't use it a lot, but it's a 12, it makes a 12-inch block. Be careful when you're reading instructions. It's like crochet or something when you're turning and that end stitch and whatnot. When they say it's a 12-inch block, it's a 12-inch finish block. When you're making a block, you make it 12.5 inches. Why? Because you have a 1/4 inch seam on each side. So a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch is a 1/2 inch. Otherwise, you'll make something and then you'll say, I did everything they said. I did it perfectly. They don't fit. They don't fit. I see you unbiased taking notes. That's why I'm telling you, it doesn't fit. So whenever you're on a quilting channel and they say that you're making a 12, whatever they say, you have to add a 1/2 inch to it. Why? Because you need a 1/4 inch on each side. So I'm going to quickly show you the rest of the fabrics in this pack because there are only 15 of them. So here's another geometric set that were in the charm pack. This one, it's pretty. I didn't like it so much. It does have a little bit of red in it to brighten it up and the yellow and black, but I was trying to buy some light colors to brighten up. I like to use Kona black a lot. But if you put this next to the Kona black, it's not that much difference. You see a lot of quilters trying to make patterns and they say, well, this is the star, we'll say the Star of David, for example. But you look at it and you're looking and you say, is it invisible? I can't see it. You know what it is? Anything that you're doing in quilting, there has to be a contrast. It has to be a light color with a darker color if you want the pattern to show. If you don't, you can use medium colors. You can use dark next to dark, light next to light, but you have to have a solid color or something. There has to be contrast. No contrast, no pattern. It's just going to be a jumble. Nobody's going to be able to tell what it is. This one is pretty. I bet Psalm 146 will like this one because it looks like a geometric sunflower. Okay. And did I have to buy this pack of fabric? No, I didn't have to. I just needed to. I needed something different in my life, something exciting, something to figure out what I'm going to do with it next. Here's another one with dark fabrics, but I can always put them with something else. What I like to do with this, like this fabric pack, what I would personally do is go buy a yard or a yard of 2 or 3 different Kona. Why Kona cotton? Because of some of the thickest cotton, plain color cotton in the United States that you can buy. It's heavyweight and it works well with these heavier foreign fabrics. This is another yellow. This, I don't know why they called it yellow. I wouldn't put this in an all yellow thing myself, but it's different. And two more, a couple more. This one, it actually looks like it has a little something something in the back where you see white, you know, little things like that. Don't get your knickers in a knot when that happens. Don't get your knickers in a knot. Life is not that serious. And if somebody's looking that hard for a flaw in your fabric, they need to go find that loose hair somewhere on their body, because up wherever it is, because life is not that picky. And this is yellow. And I thought this one was really pretty. Really pretty. But it's because of the colors in it, the red and the blue and the green. might not match everything that I'm doing. So this Bar Brownlee was what they call a charm pack. When you buy a random charm pack that other people get, you get whatever you get, and you get whatever they find in the stores. Hola, David Corey. How are you doing today, sir, nephew? David Corey. So now what I want to get to is what you all need to know. Just like Rachel Unbiased LLC was crawling under her truck trying to fix the light that goes in her truck, you're going to have to put a light in your sewing machine. You're going to have to put something. She was climbing up on a ladder trying to fix something. You're going to have to maintain these machines. I think I told a couple of you, man, I bit the bullet a couple years ago when I was making masks, and I paid like $1,200 for these three of these like sewing machines to take to the shop because I was working on heavy duty fabric and I didn't feel like getting this manual out. This is the manual for the featherweight 221. That's what they call this machine. Yes, I write sloppy. This isn't my writing. The person who painted the machine that's just like this one, painted it black. Auntie Joanne has a really pretty featherweight, but hers is older and doesn't have this plain scroll. Hers has pretty scrolled, and you'll get to see it when I'm worrying her and using her stuff when I'm out there. I take that, it's still up there in Auntie Ellen's craft room out there, which is Uncle Roscoe's stolen office. Hey, Uncle Roscoe, love you. See you soon. And all that, the manual, everything is right there where I left it. Why? Because I'm OCD ish. So everybody has a book that comes with their machine, whether it's a new machine, an old machine, if you buy it straight away. Some manuals like this one, the one that came with the machine was the size of one of these cards, smaller than this, but you can print it out. Like you go to singer.com and you put the model in, you can find what you're looking for. So we're going to do some basic maintenance on this. Oh, that Lorraine T, that one there, that sister there, she just bought a Spartan, which is a no frills machine, gorgeous heavyweight. Will sew through 3 layers of leather. Was she happy? No, she was not. She went and bought one of these, and it even came with a case. She got a good price with it, though. I just want you to see what these things look like. So you open your manual because you're going to open it from scratch. You're not going to know what's inside the pages, right? So you start looking. Oh, by the way, you see this? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the size of the original page of the original manual. This is 4 pages of the original manual. So that's why you would want to print it out. It tells you about the needles and thread. It tells you about the parts of the machine. So it tells you what size fabric to use with what size thread, electrical information, how to remove the bobbin, and nobody wants to. I bet every one of you who has a machine has never the FOF manuals. You just smash the button until it works. That's what we all do. That's why I'm showing you guys. But I used to belong in this embroidery club, and I had a complicated embroidery machine, and we were doing some embroidery fabrics. Well, the person teaching the class had actually retired from the United States Navy, and she was in IT, and she loved doing this. So everybody in the class had a different machine, and you had to bring your manual. I think I told you when you buy embroidery patterns, each one is different. Each one has a different file extension, and you have to figure each one out. And she would actually sit there and do it with each one of us. So, what I want to show you is, let's see, this would be page 2021. Those of you who have Singer machines, when Rachel Unbiased is in those thrift stores and you see these, buy those, get those little packs of accessories, because all singers use the same. These old singers, they all use the same accessories. The new machines don't come with it. It's like getting an Apple crack phone. You get the phone, you get a wire, you don't get all those little knobs and all those other things that used to come in with it. So, to oil the machine, I did all that to get to page 46. Do you think I ever went to page 46 when I first got this machine? Hell to the no. No, 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 no. I use my smash and push and back and then go take it to the shop. There used to be a shop out in the country where I used to live, and I bought the guy's book. His book was called The Last Flight from Vietnam. He was a Vietnam refugee. He was actually in the military in Vietnam, and he was like on the last plane that left people in Vietnam, like back during the war, where you saw people dangling on the rudders of the helicopters. And he wrote a book about it. And I bought a couple books for friends, and he was my new best friend. I could go take my machine over there, take a serger with 4 different things that you have to thread, and he would just sit there and show me how to do it. Oh, yes. Was I smoothing him? Yes. But I did other things. I gave him things like the little things that I made, little goodies. Fair swap, no swindle, right? You use everyone, everything, but you misuse, abuse no one. So it's called quid pro quo. If somebody gives you something, give them something back. Don't be a leech. So here is the section of oiling the machine. To keep your machine in top condition, use Singer oil and lubricant. And by the way, when you have these antique sewing machines, you don't use oil in the motor. You don't use oil in the motor. Okay, Rachel, I'm going to try to not to have my buttocks out when I bend over here. Use clear sewing machine oil, preferably with a spout. Those little square ones with that little nubby spout, you're going to have oil everywhere. It's not going to work. And never put oil, sewing machine oil, in. Hold on, you guys. I want to show you what I'm talking about, because a lot of these old machines have exterior motors. Of course, I had to drop something for the day. So this is the exterior motor, this little thing. I'll tell you, I had a beautiful machine. It was an old machine, and the motor went out on it. So this is a major ripoff. I got major reamed. I took it to this sewing machine shop here near where I live now, and this was years ago. And this machine must have weighed 30, 35 pounds. So I get it, and you had to park a parking lot way away from the shop. And I hand carried this thing over there. And he said, the motor is gone. Well, you want to see my body parts, Rachel? Okay. Nikki and I are related. That's all I'm saying. So, no shade, Nikki, no shade. So I took this machine over there. He says, the engine doesn't work. He goes, "Oh, this is trash. You can just throw it away. The engine doesn't work." I said, "You know what? I don't feel like carrying this thing all the way back over a city block to where the parking lot was." I said, "Just throw it in the trash. Would you throw it away for me, right?" I went to one of my elderly friends. She said, "Ellen, what did you do with that machine?" I said, "I threw it away." It was a couple of months later. She said, "That's nothing. Do you see how this little motor is just stuck on the exterior. It's like 3 or 4 screws you take out to replace it. I knew you were just kidding, Rachel. It was 2 or 3 screws to replace it and a couple wires. Done. This guy ripped me off for my machine, and it happens all the time. So that's what I'm saying. Take your manual out, and actually one day when you're sitting in watching somebody else's live, open your book and actually look at it. So to oil this machine, I want to show you this because it's amazing. There are, I want to say, like, I don't even know how many different places, but I'm not going to count them. I'll hold it up to the screen. Do you see all those places where those little dots are? Those are all the places you oil it. You take, oh, and you oil it under the bottom too. The good news is that these old sewing machines, they never wear out. You might have to replace a part or two. They're made to last 100 years. They're made to last 100 years. So this little thing, this little bobbin case is $200. The old ones, the original ones, are not like the replacement parts. I broke this little lever. I'll show you. This little lever on mine. And I went to a local machine shop and they said they couldn't replace it. I was in a hurry. Let me put this where I won't lose it because, like I said, this little thing is $200. When you go to quilt shows and whatnot, you won't even find one of them in the machine because people steal them. People replace yours with theirs. I usually take dark, ugly red nail polish and paint mine so that I can tell the difference. Remember that lighted magnifying glass? I don't want to put it on you because it's very, very bright. This is what you do. It's good to have one of those because I'll just point to it with my handy dandy chopstick because these are one of the things. This is what you're going to have to do, Rachel, with your Kenmore. You're going to have to go down in here, and like here in the bobbin case, there's one little space down here where you put one drop of oil, solamente uno drop of oil. Okay? To oil an old machine like this, because I don't want you guys to be afraid or intimidated, you have to take the front off. You see this screw? And you have to watch how you take this off because this little piece has to go back over the lever that goes up and down. Do you see this? Why did I take this loose? Is Auntie Ellen loco? She crazy? Of course she's crazy. She's just not totally insane. Of course she's crazy. So I want to show you because I haven't done this in months, maybe a year. This little part, there is a drop of oil that goes here. And you only put like 1 or 2 drops. There's another drop here. And a drop in there. I'm doing it today with you guys because I haven't had the cover off of this one. Haven't put any in Carolina when I was out there either, sissy. So then, how did I put this back on here? And you might, if you don't remember or can't remember, you might want to take a photo with your crack phone, whatever you're doing. And then these little screws, this machine was made in 1948. They don't, it's hard to find. There's a place called the Featherweight Shop that sells parts for a lot of old singers, so you can buy them. But you want to have a piece of, whoops, a piece of adhesive tape near your machine, and you can put your screws in here, or a little saucer when you're taking these screws out. Okay, so let me get you back on straight. Oh, you're way up here. That's why it's not going up. Okay. So you don't just have to sew, you have to be able to maintain these things. Either that or just give your checkbook to the machine shop and tell them to take whatever they want. Now, I showed you down here, I've already put the 1 drop of oil in there. And what I'm going to do, because I don't want this to go off, I'm going to unplug it before I go over here dingling around. And I'm going to turn her over. And big girl weighs 11.5 pounds almost. She does have an LED light. And there's a screw. I don't know if I can get it loose right now. But I'll just put it this way. I won't do it while you guys are here. What great oiling tips. I have a couple of old Singer machines that came with a cabinet, and you fold the machine down into the cabinet. Yes, but the way it folds down, you can also fold it up onto the table, Barb Brownlee, so that you can work on it. So all of us single ladies, this is when it will be helpful to have some testosterone around the house. Hello, Auntie Beth Jones. Thank you for coming and welcome. Casings 55. Thank you for coming and welcome. A little testosterone in the form of a man's hands to loosen this up. Well, let me do. Wait a minute. Let me do, and don't do as I do. Do as I say do. Get a rubber gripper. Me, I'm going to use these because there's no testosterone around this house, and might leave a little scratch, but you know, some people buy these machines, they resell them, whatever. I'm not going to. I'm keeping this for the rest of my life. Maybe one of my great granddaughters. The reason I bought 2 is because they said that they wanted to sew. I doubt it. But I have 2 anyway. Auntie Joanne has one. And I won't be having any more granddaughters. Why? Because my son and daughter have locked shop. They're not into that. So what I'm doing with my hand over here, so that I can show you guys, under here, you have my handy dandy light, and I'm unscrewing this screw. I'm carefully putting it over there so I don't lose it, and I'm taking the bottom off. So this is an oil drip pan. So you see this, guys? This is an oil drip pan. And then I'm doing this to show you that there's underneath here, this one is actually really, let me see if I can turn it around, really, really well oiled. I oiled it real well from the top, but can you see this? Can you see how shiny and clean? This machine is 75 years old, you guys. It's been well maintained. So I'm not going to put any extra oil under here. I have done the top and all of the other ports well enough. But some of you who have these solid, this one's actually kind of nasty. I can buy felt and cut it out, or wool is even better, because what'll happen, this gets saturated and then the grease will drip underneath. Okay, how do I have this? Underneath here. And you should try to remember how you took it out so that you can put it back. That was really greasy. My hands are greasy. Then you put the bottom back on. Rachel, you can do this. Lorraine T, you can do this. Auntie Bev. Okay. I have difficulty seeing black on black. Oh, there you go. Uh-oh. Where did this go? Inside or outside? Outside. I would assume, you know what they say about assume out of you and me, but I would assume that it goes on the outside so that it holds it tight when you put this bottom screw back on. So you guys, I say all that to say, uh-oh. I don't have really strong fingers. So, and you see how tight the other one was. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. So I'm turning it to the right. And just to make sure that I have it back on as tight as it was before, I'm just going to give it like a half a crank, because we don't want the bottom to come out. So if I took her into a sewing machine shop to do what I just did, it would be $45 just for them to open it and look in it. Teresa, not me. Nothing ever goes back together when I take it apart. You try it. Try it. Yeah, you're gonna blow a few. You might end up having to take it back to the shop to get some help. But the featherweight shop that I told you about, oh, I meant to show you something when I had the bottom off. Underneath here, actually, let me look. Maybe it's not covered by the plate, but this, oh yeah. Those of you who want to buy machines and see what the date is, Diversity Love loves taking things apart. Diversity Love, guess what? Lorraine T just bought two of the most fabulous straight stitch sewing vintage machine that you can imagine. And I paid twice what she paid for hers, and I thought that was a good deal. She paid half of what I paid for hers, and with the case and everything. But I want to show you with my handy dandy chopstick. Down here under the bottom, this is where the serial number is. And this one says AH426481. So then you go to Singer.com, and Singer makes Spartan machines. It also made a lot of machines in Scotland and in England at the time. Lorraine has two machines from over there, and that's how you find out what the serial number is. You go to Singer.com and you look it up. They'll tell you the date that your machine was born, where it was born. Why does it matter? It doesn't. It's just fun to know and to compare with other things. Or sometimes you might call for a part that you're trying to replace it with. Rachel, I know that you can fix your Kenmore. Look how greasy that was underneath there. Make sure I don't wipe my eye with that part. Or how about I just get another tissue? How about that part? That part. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Maria Graham said that's a great machine. Well, the thing about the older machines is that you don't have to replace the parts on it. This machine, the new one, the ones they know that this machine is never going to wear out. It's never going to wear out. It might need a little screw, a little something. It's like my Ford F-150. I had a 1985. I'll have to show you guys a picture of it. It was that bright royal blue. Oh, it had everything on it. I loved it. I even had that big metal case on the back of it. I didn't keep tools in it. I didn't have any tools. When I went shopping, I'd hop up there, put my stuff back there, lock it, go to the next store. Oh, they said it can't be fixed. They want it $350 to fix it. You know what? Unbiased. Go to another shop. Go to another shop. Go to another shop and do a couple comparisons. I had somebody pull that one on me. I'm not, I'm not doing that without some lubricant. And this is the last thing I wanted to show you, you guys. This is clear synthetic grease, and there's a part in this machine. Well, there's oil goes, but since my fingers are already dirty, you put the lubricant on your finger. It looks like this. It looks like Vaseline, and you put it on. There's some gears up here, right down in there. And this is the newer style. And that's what you do. The newer machines, they put plastic gears in there. Okay. They put plastic gears in here. Why? So they wear out and they do break. Maybe Rachel's doesn't, but you live and you learn. But Rachel, for a good price, just keep looking. You can look out like Lorraine T. Trust me. Trust me. She hit the mother load. So, you guys, thank you for coming. I love you. Ego amo te mami. If you like the content, please give the thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like or didn't like about it. Subscribe. Turn the bell on so you know when I go live. And share it out. Thanks, everybody. See you over there on the chat tonight. I don't know who else is going live later on, but for sure they are. Love you. Love you, Mom.